Let's talk about the most controversial transfer this summer. That's what people are labelling it as. Jesse Lingard signing a 1-year contract with a fee believed to be around, or wages to be around 150, 200 grand a week, whatever. No one really cares about that. But he's gone to Nottingham Forest, the newly promoted side. Look, this is not a dig at Forest. I know my history. They're a big club, but they're still a newly promoted side. And this is a guy that at Man United, at West Ham the season before last, clearly there's a top 6 player in there, a top 6 club that are having a look at him. Why Forest? Come to you first. Talk to us, Chris.
Well, I think it's a footballing decision. I think
not a money one.
That's so generous, Chris. That's so generous.
It plays a part, but you've got to remember he's a multi-millionaire. I think, like you see, he is a top 6 player. He has that quality. He's an England international. I think he's guaranteed football. He can showcase what he's about from now till the squad's decisions made for Qatar. And I think that's what it's about. It's a year contract. So it's a massive gamble for Lingard, no matter the money that he's on, to actually sign a 1 year. I think it was 3 years West Ham were offering.
Yep.
Okay, maybe on what, 90, 100,000 pounds. So I don't think the money plays too much of a part. It's about him playing football. And obviously that conversation that he's had with Steve Cooper, Nottingham Forest is a massive club. Yes, they are back to the Premier League for a long time, but they're investing. Steve Cooper has a vision. He's bringing in the right players. They're investing money. Lingard, I think that decision's been made that he's going to be the main man. He knows that he's going to play. Lingard is a player that can put points on the board because he can create out of nothing. He's a fantastic character to have around because he's infectious. I think he lifts the dressing room. On the pitch, he's a character. But I think he will deliver. He knows all eyes are on him, and I think he relishes that.
If it's not a money decision, Chris, and look, again, this isn't being disrespectful to West Ham. If it isn't a money decision, sorry, it isn't being disrespectful to Nottingham Forest. How do you pick Nottingham Forest over West Ham, who are in Europe? Yeah. A manager that and you've played under David Moyes. You've got, I think, the future England captain in Declan Rice in there. A team that's really on the up and up. They're filling out the London Stadium week in, week out. 50,000 are in there, and they're getting behind them. We are massive, etc. How do you pick Nottingham Forest over West Ham if it isn't a money decision?
See, I think
because you're going to start for West Ham.
I think there's an argument that he's going to start for West Ham as well. I think London, that we know that he's a big fan of, but it can also be a distraction, London, as well. I think he's at that age now where he's got good people around him, and I think it's one of them, because he is going to play. Yeah. So the argument is he is going to play European football. Yeah. I think there's going to be more pressure.
With arguably better players.
Yeah, and there's more
Premier
pressure.
League, European players.
There's going to be more pressure, which I've already said.
And if we're talking about him getting into the World Cup squad, I mean, guess how likely is he to get into the World Cup squad playing for Nottingham Forest or West Ham?
He doesn't get in at Forest.
I disagree.
He does.
It's the Premier League, Rory.
There is no way that he has written off he has written off everything, and I truly believe that he's just prioritised money here. He has followed the money. He had a club like West Ham United, with everything that's gone on at West Ham over recent years. West Ham are a serious proposition, and we need to redefine who West Ham United are. A decade ago, obviously it isn't the same thing. This West Ham team is serious. They could have won European silverware last year. It's so rare that you have the potential to sign for a club where you know exactly what you're getting. There's no jeopardy about Jesse Lingard going into that West Ham team. He goes in there and he does the business. We know that because he's done it before. And I think that it's a real shame that he's followed the money. I think it's a real shame that he hasn't gone to West Ham, because he did have that electrifying period there. I think he only played 16 games. But in terms of like a player...
9 goals, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was like he ran hot.
It was as good as a loan deal can get.
It was like when you have a player that just lands and turns it on. It's a bit like the buzz around him there wasn't dissimilar to the buzz around Dimitri Payet there. It was like big, wasn't it? It was big noise. And he looked brilliant and he looked happy. And this summer, I don't think he's covered himself in glory. Sort of giving out these little tidbits of where his career is going to end up, like some B-Tech Griezmann, like letting us know via TikTok and dancing.
This is the way the world. This is the way the world runs now. TikTok and this is how the players communicate. This is how the fans get an insight an insight to the background of the player. And I agree that these modern players coming through now, they know how to sell themselves. They know how to tell a story. They know how to showcase themselves. And I understand what you're saying, because I think West Ham are the real deal. I think Man United priced him out of the market when that opportunity was there to go. He could have went to them in a free. I feel that he has got one eye on the World Cup. Southgate knows what Jesse Lingard's all about, and is a big admirer of Lingard. I feel if he's performing well, if Nottingham Forest are up there, even if Nottingham Forest are struggling, and he's not as a collective but individually doing well, scoring goals, he's not something you can ignore.
No, I agree with that. But do you know what's weird? As much as I am kind of disappointed that he's gone to Forest, I genuinely am, because I think that he has effectively waved a white flag on his career. I honestly think that. I think that there is no way that he gets into the England side playing for Forest. I don't think a Forest player goes to the World Cup with England. He has opted out of potential European silverware. He has opted out of a serious and sustained bid for silverware at West Ham, where he was iconic, in order to earn some extra money for a year at Forest. I think it's really poor. But I also think, in a way, West Ham have dodged a bullet. Like, I think the way that this is being portrayed by people like us is West Ham have missed out on Lingard. I think they had the best Lingard. I think they benefited from Lingard when they had him there last, and I don't think that he will rediscover that form. He's 30 years old. And when you think of the way that he plays, it's that electrifying, blistering... No. I think that he is... Rory, he's going to be on the down within a year, isn't he?
Rory, you look at sports science in the game now. You know, I think we've already spoken about Ronaldo, 37. I know he's a phenomenon. You know, but players play longer. You know, they play at that level.
But he ran hot. He just ran hot. I think he's a decent footballer.
He's always
who
had
ran
the potential to be outstanding, and I just feel that.
Like, he's not outstanding. He's not outstanding. Like, he's had the same amount of assists as Andy Carroll over the last 3 years. Like, he's not played a lot. He's not played a lot. No, neither was Carroll. He's a good player, Lingard. I like him, and that period where he ran hot. But I do believe that, you know how you can have good players out of form. I think you can have decent players in form. And he was a player that was in form. He was a player that landed, it suited him. I think, in a way, West Ham have missed out. And I definitely think that Jesse Lingard himself has missed out. Like, the loser in this scenario, I think, is Lingard. Because he could have gone to West Ham. He could have been part of something. Imagine him linking up with Bowen in this kind of form that Bowen's in. Imagine him linking up with Antonio. West Ham are an aspirational club. And I just find it totally baffling, but almost a little bit sad, that he has chosen certainly an easier option and certainly a more uninspiring option. And that isn't... I don't want this to be portrayed as some sort of disrespect on Forest. I appreciate the club. I like Forest. I think the Premier League is a far richer place having Forest in it. But they're a newly promoted club who are going to be in a relegation battle.
People are having this conversation because it's a surprise. Like no one would have predicted that he would be at Forest start of the season. It wasn't that, was it? It was either he played for West Ham or maybe even Everton. There's a lot of speak about Richarlison leaving on the left and him coming on the left, or you go abroad. So it is a bit of a surprise. Loads of texts coming in, by the way. This one first. Rory is bang on. All it's got to do is with money. No footballing reason. He will regret this. No chance of being in England's World Cup squad. He cares more for the money. What a shame. Hi all, can you tell me why all the negative talk about Forest? It's harsh on Forest. We'll be playing entertaining football, which Jesse will fit straight into. Super Cooper system going forward in the Premier League. I've never heard. Is that a new thing? Super Cooper system in the Premier League. And with regular football, that's what Jesse needs to get back into the England setup for the World Cup squad.
Do you think before, right, so when Jesse Lingard has a decision to be made, I think Gareth Southgate's one of those conversations that he has. I think Jesse Lingard, Gareth Southgate is that kind of person that door's always open for that conversation to be had. And I don't think Jesse Lingard would sign for Nottingham Forest if it completely ruled him out for the World Cup.
I mean, he didn't get into the Euros because he didn't play.
The initial squad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the initial squad, and that was one of the main reasons that, like you said there, that he never got in because he wasn't playing regularly enough. So I'm thinking he's trying to answer that question for Gareth. And if not Forest are doing well, and he's delivering.
So are we saying he has to go? Are we honestly saying that Jesse Lingard has to go as far down to a newly promoted side? This is Jesse Lingard we're talking about, to get regular football. He can't get regular football.
I think he gets regular
West Ham
football
as well.
I think he gets regular football West Ham. Yeah.
So the only reason, really, and this is why I think we're going around in circles here, and let's be honest, Chris, the only reason he's gone to Forest over West Ham, it's a 1 year contract. Forest are offering more for that 1 year.
Yeah, it's got to be a financial.
It's got to be that. And if it was really anything more than that, he would have signed a 2 or 3 year contract with some sort of clause in there. If they go down, he leaves. He signed a 1 year contract, big money. It'll be 30 the time the contract runs out. He's 29 now, and he'll move on to another club.
Yeah, it's a very weird one. But I do think, despite the way that it's being phrased at the moment, I do think that West Ham, in a way, should look at this as if they have dodged one and have actually been the victor here.
All right, we might get shouted at here now. We've got Danny, the Nottingham Forest fan, on the line. Danny, are people digging out your club too much? Can you understand, from a fan's perspective here, put your fan hat on and remove your Forest hat, can you understand that people are a bit surprised that he's gone to Forest over West Ham?
Well, no more than myself, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I'm surprised. I woke up that morning and my brother's text me and he says, oh yeah, Lingard signed for Forest. And I was surprised. However, I do find it really, really intriguing as every sort of sports show I've been back on YouTube, I've watched them over and over because I find it really interesting, is this unbelievable achievement that Forest have signed Lingard. Now, great, he is I think he's a world-class player on his day. I think he surprised a lot of people when he went to West Ham, which is fantastic. But one step at a time, look at Forest and what they've done. First and foremost, everybody was singing their praises last season under Steve Cooper. What an achievement he made. The second half of that season, there was only one team that beat Forest at home. I believe that was Liverpool 1-0. And you could argue, you say, yeah, but we're talking about Championship. Hold on a second. They beat Leicester, former Premiership title holders, 4-1. They beat Arsenal 1-0. Now, Lingard, when he's weighing up his options, don't get me wrong, I'm not so naive to think that money doesn't pay a factor. But at the same time, he's looked at, one, he's going to get regular game time. Secondly, I think Forest are going places. I mean, everybody, the first words out of most people's mouth are the amount of signings they've made. And they haven't made weak signings. We're talking about, Liverpool, the Bundesliga, the goalkeeper coming from Man United as well. This is a team that, to the, if you like, neutral eye, is people are doing things there. And I think, the first words out from anybody's mouth when they talk about Steve Cooper is, what a manager. Now, we've secured Steve Cooper for the next 4 years, and we're looking around. Yes, we lost 6 players in the market to loanees, but we've replaced those and we've added. And I find it a little bit sort of insulting that I think the words somebody just used not so long ago was, they're going to be fighting for relegation. And that's it. We are a Premiership side now. And I'm
no. Every team that comes up, it's not a dig at Forest. Every single team that comes up from the Championship, the odds are they go back down. That's just logic, isn't it? That's not a dig at Forest. That's just how it works.
Absolutely. Historically, absolutely. And I know things are different. I'm harping on now and thinking, history and all this kind of stuff. But there was a team not so long ago that came up from what was the Division 2 straight into Division 1. They won the Division 1 title and then went on to win 2 European Cup finals. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute that history's going to repeat itself. But what
can't go back, Dan. You can't go back 40 years, Dan.
No. History's history. I get that. But Forest is a big side, a big following, a big club. We've got a bloke in charge now that's put his money where his mouth is, and he's saying, "Listen, forget history." His exact words were, "Forget history. We want to make history." We want to make new history. And I think he's given Steve Cooper all the tools to do it. I think he's attracted some fantastic players, including Jesse Lingard. I remember a guy that's just gone back to Man United that everybody was talking about that made his name in the Championship, which was Garner. And everybody's singing about him, and the new manager at Man United is keeping him in his squad that I'm aware of. I just think proof's in the pudding. I mean, let's be honest, all this talk, when we hit the Premiership and it starts in a couple of weeks' time, the proof is in the pudding. But I think Jesse Lingard's made a bold statement, and you're probably right. He's made it, combined with a bit of cash there. But I think he's made a bold statement, and let's see.
Let's see, indeed. But let's be honest, cash plays a big part of it, Chris.
I think Steve Cooper plays a massive part as well. I think you look at how the ego part of footballers, I think if he's talking to him, you're going to be my main man, we're going to build a team around you. I think that's the kind of things that Jesse Lingard wants to hear. And yeah, money does play a part, but he wants to play football.
And look, Steve Cooper, I think, is a fantastic manager who should have been a Premier League manager for a long time. I think he's that good. Cheers, Danny. Much appreciated. We've got John, the Chelsea fan, wants to have a little talk about Lingard as well. John.
Hi. Great show, guys. Absolutely. I actually have to correct the last person. It's not the Premiership anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. It's the Premier League.
What else, John? Go on.
Well, I think Lingard is an absolutely sensible signing. a very good one. He's on a 1-year contract. I'm not fond on Simon Jordan's comments about him with TikTok. However, I think that's why Forest have maybe put him on a 1-year contract rather than a longer one. And I think West Ham have basically just bowled it. They're in Europe and they should be able to offer more money than what Forest did. But what a signing for Forest.
Do you almost feel like, John, that West Ham has said, okay, look, we know where we are now. If it's us versus Forest, he's definitely going to come for us. Like West Ham have almost lost out because of their arrogance and not paying him what he thought he deserved.
No way. West Ham have made the right decision here. This isn't a case where West Ham have lost out because they couldn't afford the money. West Ham have looked at the player and decided that he isn't worth that money for one season.
Well, they were going to buy him for 25 million. That's,
but there has to be a wage structure.
So surely the money you're going to buy him for 25 million, then you're going to give him, like, it adds up anyway.
They weren't going to buy him for 25 million this season. He sat on the bench for a year. They were going to buy him for 25 million when he had a dazzling season for them. But when you buy someone off the back of a loan, look, Joe Willock got to move to Newcastle. It feels like that to me. It genuinely does. And while I rate Lingard, while I think that he is quite a good player, some of the praise that's been coming his way, I mean, we're hearing things like world class on his day and things like that. Yeah. That isn't Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard's a decent Premier League player, and he will have a decent season for Forest, I'm sure. But he has missed out on going to West Ham. He has missed out on being part of something very special that David Moyes is building at West Ham. He had a great rapport with the West Ham fans. And he could have been iconic. Imagine.
Mate, I was at the London Stadium when Man United played West Ham and they clapped him on. And he scored 5 minutes later.
Scored against them, didn't he?
Yeah, but they clapped him on as though they're clapping on a hometown hero that's come back. So they almost expected it to be done. West Ham fans were very excited about him. Not so much anymore.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you, Addy. I think West Ham needed to fight a little bit harder. I think they needed to increase the contract. Like you said, what is it? There's no fee.
No fee.
There's no fee.
I think I rate West Ham's stance on it. I think they've stuck to their principle. They don't want to be held to ransom. And they know that what they are offering is far more palatable than what Forest are offering, aside from one crucial factor that Jesse Lingard has prioritised: pie and mash.